Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraika Panaye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gita Amrita Duhe Namaha. Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopala Nandana Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gita Amritam Mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grishnati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnan anyani sanyati navani dehi. In our last class, we have been discussing this beautiful verse. Just as a man discards the worn out clothes and puts on new clothes, so also the soul, when the body becomes old, worn out, it has finished its function, it is no more useful, then he discards it, but he again takes to a new body. That is the most important point. And this verse also indicates to us the theory of reincarnation. For Hindus, this dying and being born and dying is a continuous process. But will it come to an end? Yes. When will it come to an end? When a person knows, I am not the body, I am not the mind. The most curious thing is, this theory is propounded in a school of philosophy called Sankhya. The whole goal, purpose of nature is to kick us out of itself. What is the purpose of nature? This body belongs to nature. This mind also belongs to nature. So this nature doesn't belong to Atman. Prakriti and Purusha are totally separate. The soul and the body-mind complex are totally separate. But somehow we have come to mix up. The soul is thinking, I am the body-mind, and the body-mind is thinking, I am the soul. Means, the body-mind is thinking, I am conscious. Consciousness is thinking, I am the body-mind. This mix-up is called bondage, samsara. How long this samsara will continue? When the separation occurs. That means when the soul learns, I am separate from you, tata, bye-bye, talak, talak, until that time, this bondage will continue. But the point now here is, who is going to bring about this freedom? Who is going to teach the soul the lesson that you are not me, I am not you? Who is going to teach? Yes, Guru. But the Guru, in the sense, it is the nature. So the body, it gives trouble. The mind also gives trouble. In Puranic language, mythological language, who created this whole universe? God. But in Vedantic language, who created the universe? Jiva. Through past karma, each one of us have created this world. When will this world come to an end to each individual? When each individual realizes that I am not part of this. Until that time, we have to be reborn again and again. This is the concept that in this verse, Bhagavan Krishna is telling to Arjuna. Who is Arjuna? Everyone who feels the bondage, the heaviness of this body-mind, and wants to get out, he is Arjuna. A mosquito is not an Arjuna. And a worldly person is not an Arjuna. An Arjuna is a person who realizes he has this attachment to the body-mind. At the same time, somehow he is not happy with this body-mind, wants to get out. He is called, in simple words, spiritual aspirant. Every spiritual aspirant feels this bondage. And then this verse applies to him. Okay, you have been born so many times, and you are going to be born so many times. If we really believe in this verse, what is the first thing that happens? Death loses its sting, because we are terribly frightened of death. So many times we have been born, and so many times we are going to be born again. And it is said, this attachment to the body, it is so strong, even a wise person feels as though something being forcibly torn apart. So it is said in our Hindu spiritual tradition that a spiritual aspirant is practicing, is progressing in spiritual life, and is almost at the verge of getting liberation. At that time, even this attachment doesn't want to leave. And God, out of His grace at that moment, He shows him the entire past of this jiva, which consists of millions of births, right from inorganic matter, then organic matter, through all these, like a plant, then insect, a bird, an animal, a human being, and more progressive, evolutionary, evolving human being, until he becomes a spiritual aspirant, then a saint, and still that attachment. He looks back and said. Curious thing here is, we are not attached to our past body, because for the simple reason, we do not know. And we are not attached to the future body, for the same reason. We are attached only to this body. At that moment, by God's grace, He looks, and millions of bodies I had, millions of mothers, millions of fathers, millions of husbands, wives, children, friends, enemies, all those experiences as it were like a kaleidoscope, like a reel going back. And then he says, what am I attached? After all, if I have to be attached, I have to be attached to millions of things. That moment, attachment disappears, he becomes totally detached, and he becomes totally free. So what is the point here? If we really believe in Bhagavad Gita, and in this particular verse, that means death is no fear. Not only we would not grieve our impending death, but we would not grieve anybody's death. On the contrary, death may be for a better thing. Lord Krishna is telling, nobody weeps because he is discarding worn out holy clothes, holy dress, for the sake of new dress. Is it not? Everyone wants new dress. That is one of the reasons given. This is one of the proofs for the reincarnation theory. Then, an individual changes his clothes to suit the convenience of the occasion. You know, we all change our dress, morning dress, night dress, swimming dress, club dress, and what is called university convocation address dress, festival dress, marriage dress. Like that, so many times we are discarding dress. So what is the point of a dress here? Dress means body and mind. The point is, we are not frightened of the death. There is no death for the mind. There is only death for the body. There is a death for the mind only once, at the time of liberation. But there is death for the body. With each birth there is a death. And so the point is, why is this particular body given to us? When we look at ourselves, each one of our bodies are totally different. No two persons' bodies, no two brothers, no two sisters' bodies are exactly the same. Now, what is the logic behind why each one of us have got a special type of dress? Because it must suit the purpose for which the person has taken up that particular body. What is the purpose? To learn lessons, to evolve further towards God. This is the only purpose. And this world is considered as a school where we learn our lessons and get out. Have you noticed this peculiar thing? Every student is eager to enter into a school and he is also eager to get out. And if he doesn't get out, the school will kick him. They will give 2-3 opportunities. After that, they will kick him out. School is meant for what purpose? To get out. Learn your lessons and get out. Enter into higher class, and then get out. Birth also is meant only for one purpose. Get out of this suit. Birthday suit. Okay. What is the purpose of marrying? Marriage is also a school. What is the purpose? Get out of marriage. Yes. Not tamasha. That's why Hindus have divided life into the student life, then married life, then vanaprastha life, ultimately sannyasa, and go even beyond sannyasa. The sannyasa is meant as a take-off point, like a satellite. Every body has a purpose to fulfill. Every body, I said. That means every individual's body is suited for the working out of the results of his or her past karma for that particular individual. That's why all our bodies are totally different. The next point is, as soon as that purpose is reached, is achieved, immediately that particular dress, in this case, this particular body, is discarded. The moment our agenda is over, like a businessman goes to some other country on some business, finishes his business, and then what does he do? He comes back. So we are like that, as though we came from God to finish certain particular business. Once the business is over, we will go. This particular dress means this particular body is exclusively meant to achieve a particular goal or purpose. And once that purpose is achieved, then automatically it is predetermined. Automatically we will be taking another to get higher experience until we achieve liberation. Now who decides? Because the question comes because many people say, okay, you Hindus believe in this, but what about a baby dies, a young person dies, death can come at any time. Then what purpose did this particular body achieve? That is one of the objections raised by materialists. The answer is, for that particular individual, that particular purpose is finished. I will give a story. There was a cobbler in an Indian village. There was a cobbler, and cobbler means he prepares shoes. He takes the hides of cows and buffaloes, prepares what we call chappals, and then sells it, and he is living there. There was a couple, this cobbler, and what happened? Then they did not have children, and then suddenly what happened? The wife conceived and gave birth to a very, very beautiful baby, and for a few days these couple were extremely happy, and the child died. You can imagine, after so many years, the child had that most expected happy experience of getting a baby, and after a few days the baby died. They were inconsolable. They went to a holy man and asked him, "Sir, can you explain to us why this thing happened to us? We were praying to God and this child is born. We were so happy, but after 3-4 days the baby died." Then the holy man explained what happened. You see, last year you prepared your shoes and kept them out in the sun for drying. At that time a holy man was walking this way. It was so hot and he didn't have the shoes and his feet were burning. To get a moment's relief, he put his feet in the shoes that were prepared by you. And after a few minutes he got a little relief. Then he walked off. Now he became indebted to you because your shoes has given him a little bit of relief, comfort. To get rid of that debt, that holy man was born for you as a baby. He cleared his debts and then he got out. What is the point of this story? We are all like that. We come here, we to finish some job, And as soon as we finish, we go back to get another job, which requires another type of body. Whether we are going to live few minutes, few hours, few years, or a long time, it has nothing to do with what you call accident, fate, somebody determines, nothing of that sort. Who determines? Every living being determines. Every jiva determines, next time I am going to take a body, how long am I going to keep that body? And that his karma determines. What is the karma? I have to experience the result of this past karma, and I have to learn a particular lesson. Once that lesson is learned, and then I get out of it. So we ourselves determine. Nobody else determines. This is what, humorously put, every manufacturing object will have a manufacturing date and expiry date also. We have already come with a expiry date. The only thing is we don't have the barcode reader. Only God has got the barcode reader. This is the explanation for the challenge that a small baby dies. What purpose did he achieve? Yes, he achieved his purpose, which is meant for that person only for a few days, few months, few years, and then he gets out. Nobody else determines. The only exception to this is suicide. That's why suicide is called Mahapapa. If anybody commits suicide, what does it mean? It means that he voluntarily had kicked out and terminated his own body, and the result is that person has to experience a lot of pain in his next birth for unduly terminating it. That is an important point. This worn out condition of the body is to be decided neither by its age nor by its biological condition, but from the standpoint of the evolutionary necessity. That body was already useless for it. In short, this verse emphasizes the doctrine of reincarnation. Let us understand it very clearly. What is the purpose of reincarnation? First, to fulfill an evolutionary purpose. What is the evolution? Only one, going back to God. That means whether we like it or not, we are going towards God. Whether we understand it or not, accept it or not, we are going towards God. Nobody can stop it. Evolutionary process. Interesting question in this regard is, even sometimes going back to a backward state is also part of the evolutionary progress. One Swami, Abhedanandji, was asked, one of the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, that sometimes a person, he was progressing nicely, suddenly he falls. What is the explanation? He gave a very beautiful analogy. He said, a man is walking and suddenly he comes across a small stream, maybe 6 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet, like that. Now he cannot jump as he is doing, as he is walking. What does he do? He goes back a few feet and comes running, and in one jump clears it. This is one illustration, beautiful illustration he gave. He also, I think he only gave another beautiful illustration. Have you ever seen staircase, spiraling staircase? You go and then you are going like that. And then you come back as if to the same direction in which you have started, towards the wall. Then you think, instead of going up, I am coming to the same place. No, each time you come back to that place, you find yourself a few steps higher and a little bit nearer to your destination. During the evolutionary process, sometimes because of the misdeeds we do, we may have to go back, like an animal, like a plant. For example, in the Ramayana, you get the story of Ahalya. Gautama Rishi and Ahalya. Ahalya had been cursed. What did she become? Stone-like. Then, for some misdeed, either she committed or her husband thought she committed. I think she committed. Now the point is, she was cursed by her husband, who was a very spiritual person. And what did he curse? He cursed that in future, after some time, God incarnates as Rama, and when he comes to this place, his feet will touch you, and immediately you regain your former form. Now, is that a curse or is that a blessing? Because holy people's words, even if they curse, it will all turn out to be only a great blessing. I was just reading in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, he refers to it. Very interesting. First, let me narrate the incident. So, Lakshmana was telling to Lava and Kusha, "Oh Lava and Kusha, Rama's name is so powerful, even his name liberates many sinners. And the touch of his feet is so holy, it can turn a stone also into a human being." Lakshmana was telling the greatness of glory of Rama. And Lavakusha said, "Sir, this is an old story. My grandpa had already told me, Valmiki told me, your Rama has no power at all. It was the word of the holy man who Rama was only an instrument. The holy man said that as soon as Rama's foot will touch you, immediately you will turn into your former form." Anyway, now who can tell? Is it the glory of Rama who turned the stone into woman, or is it the words of the holy person? Now the point, that is a humorous story, There is another humorous story. You know that? This Rama, Dasharatha told Rama, you have to go for 14 years into the forest, Dandakaranya. So he came to the banks of the Ganga, and there was a boatman called Guha. And this Rama told Guha, and Guha, you take me across the Ganges. Then the Guha said, I will take you, but before that you have to fulfill a condition. What is it? I have to wash your feet thoroughly, so there would be not even a speck of dust. Rama seemed to be surprised and said, why do you want to do that? Because I heard a story that once the dust of your feet touched a stone and it became a woman. And now I have got only one boat and one wife. I find it extremely difficult to maintain her. Now if the boat also turns into another woman, now I will have no boat and two women to maintain. Very nice, So what is the point? Even a holy man's so-called angry words, curse, turns out to be the greatest blessing for us. What is the point here we are discussing now? As soon as our purpose is over, the body will come to an end, all determined not by anybody else but by our own purpose. What is the essence of what we are talking? No need to fear death, because death means certain birth until we attain liberation. Secondly, every life has got a purpose and we determine our purpose, and the purpose is always higher and spiritual. And as soon as the purpose in this life, this body will fall, whether we wish it or not. No one else is responsible for it, but solely our own selves. Life in this world is always for a purpose. What is the purpose? To go to God. And that is not determined by us. It is inevitable. Our journey, somebody as it were, we are kicked and we are going towards God. In the process, you wanted to delay a little bit, that is in our hands, but the ultimate goal cannot be denied. From this verse also, what is very clearly pointed out, the owner of the body or owner of the dress is different from the dress. The body mind actually is comparable to a dress, but the soul is totally different. Soul and body mind are totally different. If we can understand it, nobody can grieve for death. What was Arjuna's problem? The Bhishma and Drona are going to encounter death, and all because of me. What was Sri Krishna telling? They are not going to die because of you. They are going to die, if at all, because of their own evolutionary purpose. You are only a mere instrument. Neither should you fear either your death or anyone else's death. What a beautiful teaching. That means everybody is separate from us. We have nothing. Even if we are separate from our own body and mind, how much other people are separate from ourselves, that is the lesson we have to learn, including the so-called ideas of gods and goddesses. That's a very high idea, but it is. What is the example? Ramakrishna was terribly attached to what? Divine Mother. But ultimately, that Divine Mother to which he is attached, that is also an attachment. That is an attachment which was good enough, like a big thorn, with which he could cut all other attachments. But that last thorn itself is a big attachment, and if we have not thrown it out, then we will not progress further. That's why Sri Ramakrishna had to destroy even that last attachment, and then what happens? All duality comes to an end. These are the beautiful verses. Then we are entering into the 23rd. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyapo, na soshayati marutaha. There is no death for the soul. And death comes by what means? If anybody dies, anything, death must come. Either somebody breaks it, or forcibly drowns in water, or somebody is deprived of air, or somebody is burnt. That means any type of damage can happen only through 4 elements. What are the elements? Earth, water, fire and air. But the soul is totally different from it. Therefore, these 4 elements cannot destroy. Weapons cleave it not, fire burns it not, water moistens it not, and wind dries it not. It means what? Atman. The weapons cannot destroy the Atman. The fire cannot burn the Atman. The water cannot moisten it. Water can kill, by moistening. So you take a paper, put it in water. What happens? That paper is useless. You cannot even burn it. It becomes totally useless. Soggy, we call it. Or the wind dries it. Anything, you keep, this is the most wonderful phenomena. The pickles or vegetables are dried so that they can be preserved. These are the 4 descriptions given. No weapon can cut. Let us first find out a principle. There are 2 things in this world, cause and effect. Everything in this world can be divided into 2, cause and effect. Take the simple example, wood and table. Which is the cause? Wood. What is the effect? Table. Now, can the table destroy the wood? But can the wood destroy the table or not? Yes. That means what? What is a table? It's a particular form of wood. So that form can be changed. But the table cannot destroy the wood, because the table is nothing but wood. There is no object called table. We discussed it, There is no object. What is the real object? Only wood. What is table? It is wood in a particular shape. The table cannot destroy the wood, but the wood can destroy the table. What is the principle we are deriving from it? What is destruction again? What is death? Manifestation becomes unmanifested. What is birth? Unmanifestation becomes manifest. The table was not there, or it was there in the form of unmanifested wood. And then somebody makes it, the wood shapes it into table. And then after some time the table will come to an end. It breaks, it can be burnt, whatever it is. Then it remains as wood. As an example, matter cannot be destroyed, matter cannot be created. But matter can be transformed. That transformation is called death. And this transformation, either by the weapons, or by drying up, or by moistening, or by burning. The soul cannot be destroyed, because the soul is the cause of everything. The soul is the cause of space. The space is the cause of air. The air is the cause of fire. The fire is the cause of water. And water is the cause of earth. And earth is the cause of all of us. A sword comes out of what? If you trace it enough, a sword, for example, comes out of what? Earth. Iron belongs to the earth. Can the sword destroy the earth? No. But can the earth destroy the sword? Yes. Means what? It changes its form. Just like wood can destroy the table, so also the earth can destroy the anything. That is what it is doing, Our body has come from where? From earth. And can you destroy the earth? No. You came from earth and you are living by earth and you go back to earth. You cannot destroy the earth. But the earth can anything that came out of earth, the earth can change. You see what is the point? The subtle thing can destroy, means can change the grosser thing. But the grosser thing cannot destroy the subtle thing. It's a very, very important point. The cause. What is the subtle thing? Cause. What is the grosser thing? The effect. Here, in this example, table is the effect. What is the cause? Wood. The wood can destroy the table in the sense, wood can become a chair. When the table is made into a chair, what happens to the table? Dead. But it now is remanifesting in the form of chair. Everything. But then, what is the cause of earth? Water. That is why the moment you pour water, what happens? The earth is gone. Its purpose is totally destroyed. Because earth is the mother of, water is the mother of earth. And fire is the mother of water. Air is the mother of fire. And space is the mother of, okay, here are beautiful points are there. You can experience earth, water, fire and air directly. Can you experience space? Have you seen the space? Have you smelt it? Have you touched it? Have you tasted it? You cannot do anything because it is the subtlest element. Therefore, can you say, as an example, I take a sword and cut space? Can you say, I take a sword, first of all, take it one by one. You take a sword and I will destroy the earth. Is it possible? Can you destroy earth by a sword? You cannot do it. Can you destroy water by sword? Cannot do it. Can you destroy fire by sword? You cannot do it. Can you destroy air, cut it by sword? Is it possible? Not possible. Can you destroy space by any weapon? Not possible. The idea is the cause can affect the effect. Cause can bring a change in the effect. But the effect cannot bring a change in the cause. According to Hindu cosmology, there is only God. From God means Atma. Atmanaha Akashaha. From the soul, from the Atman came space. From space came air. From air came fire. From fire came water. From water came earth. From earth came all these things that we experience. That is the principle. That means the Atman is the subtlest, the ultimate cause of everything. And therefore, nobody can destroy the Atman. The Atman cannot be destroyed. This is one idea. Another idea, comparable to space, Atman and space are compared. Why they are compared? Both are not experienceable directly, but indirectly, yes. How do we experience space indirectly? When you are sitting, that is if there is no space, you would not have been able to sit. Yeah, that is itself is an experience. Oh, there is space. Small emptiness, you pay small price. Big emptiness, you pay bigger price. As simple as that. What is the point here? The Atman is beyond real destruction, but everything else can be changed. That is the idea. The unseen is always explained in terms of the seen. Similarly here, the changeless, immutable self is being described by Lord Krishna in terms of the mutable and ever-changing world. See, the unseen must be explainable only through the seen. Suppose you have not experienced an object, but somebody has experienced it. Now he wants to describe it to you. How do you describe it to that person who has not seen a particular object? Do you know what is the principle? If you want to make sense to the other person, you have to describe in terms known to him. I'll give you two examples. Suppose there is an animal and that person has not seen, say for example an elephant. Somebody has not seen an elephant. So you have to describe to that person. Suppose that person has known a cow. Now you have to say it is an animal like a cow. First of all, it is an animal. And like this cow, this also has got 4 big legs. Then you have to say it is a huge animal, 4 times the size of the cow. And then it has got a peculiar protrusion which is called the trunk. Like that, if he doesn't have a cow and if he has got only a mosquito, how are you going to describe it to him? Do you see what is the principle? If you want to convey to somebody, then you have to convey in through certain terms known to that person. This first example. Second example, suppose you have eaten a particular sweet which is available only in your place, and you want to convey this experience to the other person. How do you convey? It is a sweet. Supposing he knows what is sugar cane. Says, it tastes like sugar cane, and then you bring the flavor of a rose flavor or jasmine flavor, you add some things and say it is an object, it is a very good sweet, you enjoy it. Through the known terms only you can describe. You understand that? How can the Atman be described? Because Atman is something which doesn't fall under any of these verbal descriptions. Any object falls under 5 descriptions. Any description of any object, any experienced object can be only conveyed through 5 things. Do you know what are 5 things? One is called Rudhi. Rudhi means everybody knows it. Another is called Jati, species. Another is called Guna, certain qualities. Another is called Kriya, certain activity. Another is called Sambandha, certain relationship. I gave you that example. Brahman doesn't fall under this. See the sun. Everybody has seen the sun. So today sun is bright. You are talking to a person in the December season, to a person in Norway or Finland, architect area. But he has seen the sun. Therefore he knows. No need to describe, because Rudi means it is one thing which is available to everybody. Temporarily it is not available. The second is species. What is species? There is a particular plant here. You want to convey it is a plant, it is a flowering plant, it gives beautiful, fragrant, very pleasant flowers or fruits or whatever it is. If you want to describe Alfonso mango to a person here whose whole life is buying only Hawaiian mango, how do you describe it? It is a mango, it is small, it is very golden color, and pulp is very, very tasty, very soft. Some idea he will have, isn't it? This is called species. Then Guna, a blue colored flower. He has seen blue lily. He knows what is the difference between a blue lily and a red lily and a white lily. Here he has never seen a blue rose. It is a rose, but of the color of blue. Because he knows blue, he has some idea what you are talking about. Or some activity. He is a driver. Suppose you say, the driver of such and such a numbered car, will you come and remove that car from obstructing? So we don't know the person, but we know. Or the cook who has spoiled my lunch today, find who is that cook. That is how a person identifies. Then what is the last one? Sambandha. Who is that person? He is my uncle, my father, my brother, my friend. Relationship. Brahman does not fall under these 5 verbal descriptions. Therefore, how are you going to tell him? The only way is through what we know. What do we know? Here is something which can be cut. Here is something which can be dried. Here is something which can be moistened. And here is something which can be burnt. The Atman, it is anything but this. So that is the Nainam Chindanti Shastrani. Weapons cannot cut it. Fire cannot burn it. Water cannot moisten it. Neither wind cannot dry it. These things cannot affect it. One of the principles we earlier proposed, what was it? The effect cannot affect the cause, but the cause can bring a transformation in the effect. The subtler a thing, it can influence the grosser, but the grosser cannot influence the subtler. That is an idea which you will have to take it in deeply. The unseen is always explained in terms of the seen. Similarly, here the changeless, immutable self is being described by Lord Krishna in terms of the mutable and ever-changing world. This is an important point. Changeless cannot be explained by the change, but it has to be conveyed. How do we convey? Whatever you see is changeful. What is Atman? Not changeable. If you cut something, what does it become? Changed, mutated. That's what is called mutation. Second, in the world of change, objects come to their annihilation through instruments of death. They are consumed by fire or by water or dried up by air, etc. But weapons cannot cut it. Just as can you take a sword and try to cut water? Will you succeed? Why? Because it doesn't have parts. Whatever object has parts, you can cut it into separate parts. Subtler something is, it doesn't have parts. That's why temporarily if you put a sword like that, it appears as though you have cut. The moment you take it out, it becomes the same. Like Ravanasura's 10 heads. The moment you cut it, what happens? Another one springs up, because there is a changeless Amrita is there. That is the idea. You understand it. It is very well known that with an axe one can cut down a thing, but neither can one wound water, fire, air or space with a sword, however sharp it might be. What is the principle? No instrument can hit or destroy an element subtler than itself. Naturally, the Atman, the very cause of the subtlest element, subtler than space, cannot be cut asunder by the gross instruments. Fire cannot burn it, water cannot moisten it, and wind also cannot dry it. Same thing in the 24th verse. Achedyo ayam adahyo ayam akledyo asosha yevacha nityah sarvagataha sthanu achaloyam sanatanaha. This self cannot be cut, nor burnt, nor moistened, nor dried up. It is eternal, all-pervading, stable, immovable, and ancient. The same idea which we discussed in the 23rd verse is put it exactly in the same way in a positive. There, what is it? It is telling weapons cannot cut. Here simply he avoided the word weapons and said it cannot be cut, it cannot be dried, it cannot be moistened, it cannot be burnt. That means it must be something other than anything that can be affected by it. That is the idea. In this world, everything is changing, excepting the Atman. And one idea why it cannot change, because infinite cannot change. It is whatever is changeable must be by its nature what? Finite. So, okay. Do you get the idea? I am finite. I can move. When I move from this chair, I am changing. But God is everywhere. So how can you change Him? To change, space is needed. And therefore, the Prahlada's father was asking, where is he? And Prahlada's father challenged Prahlada, where is your Narayana? Prahlada challenged his father, where he is not. Show me where he is not, I will show you where he is. Where he is not Narayana, he is there. Therefore, can he destroy Narayana? Hiranyakashipu says, I want to destroy your Narayana. How can you destroy your Narayana? You cannot. But Narayana can destroy. Hiranyakashipu means Hiranyakashipu's body. If God himself destroys Hiranyakashipu, will he get moksha or not? Yeah, God burns out his body-mind complex. What remains? What remains? No, Narayana remains. Narayana remains. God remains. That is the idea. This self cannot be cut, nor burnt, nor moistened, nor dried up. That is the idea. And he is all-pervading. And anything all-pervading cannot have any shape. This is a beautiful idea. God is all-pervading. Therefore, he cannot have any shape. That means what? He cannot have any form. There is a beautiful verse. It is called a hymn composed by Vedavyasa. It is called Para Puja, worship of the Supreme. There he says, O Lord, please forgive me for 3 faults of mine. You are everywhere, yet I went on a pilgrimage. You are beyond mind and speech, yet I always hymned you. You are beyond mind, yet I tried to meditate upon you. Meditation means what? Bringing God into your mind. Means making Him small. Pilgrimage means what? God is available only there. That is why Draupadi's funny story, Dushasana was trying to disrobe her. She prayed, "O Krishna, hey Dwaraka Vasin, Tvam Raksha Raksha Adhuna. Just now come and save me." She was praying. Then she changed her tune, changed the song. "Hey Krishna Sarvantaryamin, Tvam Raksha Raksha Adhuna." O Krishna, who is the indweller in every being, you come and save me. Immediately he came, as though the Lord has to come from Vaikuntha. It is a description, because it is for people like us who don't believe God is here. See, it is very interesting idea. If God is here, will you be frightened? Only when you think God is somewhere and somebody is going to destroy me or do some harm to me, and poor God, he doesn't know that somebody else is going to harm me, then only my fright will come. If I know that God is here, like Purandaradasa, his guru told him, go and eat a banana where nobody can see you. Purandaradasa was a great soul. He is one of the greatest South Indian poet saints. He wrote thousands of songs. At one point, he was a very successful jeweler, jewel business. Very rich, very miserly. By God's grace, he changed. Then he distributed the whole wealth to poor people and came and took shelter under Vyasaraya. Now, as soon as Purandaradasa came, the Guru just loved him, like Sri Ramakrishna loved Narendranath. That's why the other fellows were feeling jealous, as though he had fallen from the sky. Now, Guru understood that the other disciples are jealous. Actually, the Guru was not loving him only. Our problem is that we don't want God to love anybody else, especially people whom we don't like. If God comes and says, I am God, I am the father of everybody, so I will love everybody, that is not acceptable. Only me and whomsoever I approve, only you must love those people, and me first. Vyasaraya started loving, like Sri Ramakrishna loving Narendranath, because he was the greatest recipient. Now what happened? Others became jealous. One day the Guru decided to teach others why he was loving this Purandaradasa more than any other disciple. One day somebody brought a big bunch of bananas. Karnataka is very famous for very, very good bananas. The Guru distributed one banana to all his disciples and said, go and eat with one condition. See that nobody sees you eating. You must eat so that nobody can see you. So one fellow put his chadar out like that. Nobody can see what he is doing, and he ate. Another fellow, even more finicky, he went behind a bush, put the chadar, and then ate it and came. Another fellow, he was even more finicky, took a deep breath, closed his nose, dived to the bottom of a pond, and there he ate and came. They all returned. Then Guru asked, have you eaten? Everybody said, yes. Did anybody watch you eating? They said, no, nobody could. Then Purandara was the only one who was holding his banana. Why did you not eat? Said, how can I eat? What is your condition? Where nobody sees me. I see everywhere God looking at me. How could I eat without breaking your condition? Then the other disciples hopefully understood why the Guru loved him more than anybody else. By the way, why did Sri Ramakrishna love Narendranath? 2 points here. Sri Ramakrishna did not love only Narendra. He loved everybody. But his love to Narendranath seemed to be even more than others. The first point is he filled everybody's heart, but Narendra's vessel is huge. That is why he appeared. But there is a second reason. Why was Sri Ramakrishna loving? Because his Narendra had to be made into a fit instrument to do more work than anybody else. That is what we call in inelegant English language, fattening the sheep. You understand? Why was he fattening? Because he wants to enjoy later on. The Divine Mother's work had to be done. Really speaking, God loves everybody. Very interesting question. As a spiritual aspirant, will God love a wicked man less or more? It is the same. Only maybe more. Because whom do you pay more attention to, your sick child or to your healthy child? Yeah. God loves. His special grace brings more misery, suffering to the wicked person. For what purpose? So that the soul can become purified and come to God sooner. This is the truth. God loves everybody equally, but He shows His love to some people who need His love. This is the most wonderful thing. In the Holy Mother's life, there is a beautiful incident. When she was in Vrindavan, she used to prepare betel nuts, pan. And some pan she was just putting a little bit of tuna and keeping it aside. Some she was preparing with extra care. Some devotee who noticed this difference between one pan and other pan, he asked, Mother, for whom is that special pan and for whom is this common pan? The devotee's understanding is, Holy Mother wants to give Sri Ramakrishna special pan and the ordinary pans to, betel leaf and betel nut to other devotees. But no, Holy Mother said, the common, normal pan is meant for Sri Ramakrishna, but the other special ones for the devotees. Why Because they have not yet become devotees. She wants to keep them by all these. Sri Ramakrishna is already Holy Mother's. There is no need, he cannot go anywhere. But others can try to go. So the lesson, it is in her own interest that this way her suffering will be much less. The self is said to be all-pervading, nityaha, achalaha, etc. Avyakto ayamachintyo ayamavikaryo ayamuchyate tasmadevam viditvainam nanushochitumarhasi. This self is said to be unmanifest, unthinkable and unchangeable. Therefore, knowing this to be such, you should not grieve. One idea is the self cannot be destroyed, cannot be killed. The other idea is, but if it cannot be killed, okay, it is fine, it is wonderful, but why can't I experience it? What is the idea? Whatever is experienceable is an object, and whatever is an object is liable to change. Change means what? 6 changes: birth, growth, conformation, growth, old age, decay and death. Then where is this Atman you are talking about? Where is it? Can I see? No, you cannot see it. Can I think about it? No, you cannot think about it. Does it mean to say that it is non-existent? No. That's why every day we sing Namo Namo Prabhu Vakya Mana Atita. You, O Lord, salutations to you who are beyond the speech as well as the mind. And yet the speech and the thinking power cannot happen unless there is that self, the power behind it. We cannot really experience it. Non-experience is not equivalent to non-existence. Here in this 25th, this self is unmanifest. Therefore, unmanifest thing cannot be experienced. Therefore, it is unthinkable, and therefore it is unchangeable. Therefore, knowing this to be such, you should not grieve. But briefly, I will give an illustration. It is unmanifest. Whatever is unmanifest is unthinkable, and whatever is unthinkable is unchangeable. Illustration. There is wood. In the wood, is a table there or not? Is a chair there or not? A billion imaginable things are there already, but are they manifest? Is a table manifest in a piece of wood? No. What does it mean? Non-manifestation. Whatever we cannot experience is called unmanifest. Can you see a table in the piece of wood? Does that mean that the table doesn't exist? You see the idea? We cannot experience it. That means it is unmanifest. Whatever is unmanifest cannot be thinkable. You cannot think. If it is there in the form, you cannot think, oh, what is going to happen, this table, beautiful table, nice table, bad table, I want to buy it, I want to get rid of it. All these thoughts come only with regard to what? A thinkable, an object which is manifest. If it is not manifest, you cannot think about it. If you cannot think about it, can you think about it is changeable, it is not changeable? Do you see the point? The idea whether something is changeable or unchangeable, it is possible only when you experience an object. When you don't experience, the question of Whether it is changing or unchanging, that idea doesn't come. So do you get the point what we are talking about?
Unmanifest means an object that has not manifested even once in your example. Because if somebody somewhere has experienced an object, I can potentially...
Yes. So you can take it in both ways. God is totally unmanifest. Why is he unmanifest? So a simple example is, whatever you experience is changeable. Whatever is changeable is limited. Unlimited cannot change. If it is unlimited...
But the difference between what in my mind that came is, when you said in wood, we know there can be a table.
Can be a billion things.
Yeah, but the assumption being we know already what a table is. If I'm a person who has never seen a table in my life,
yes,
I can't think in my mind wood has got table.
Exactly.
Atman is like that.
That is what is telling. The idea is, because whatever you don't experience, don't say it doesn't exist. That is the idea here. The Atman is not manifest, because the moment anything becomes manifest, it becomes experienceable. And whatever is experienceable is thinkable. And whatever is thinkable is changeable. Whatever is changeable is destroyable. See the idea. If you want to be non-destructive, say this is I don't want to die, means I don't want to change. That means what? I don't want to become manifest. As simple as that. If you take this logic, if I don't want to be manifest, then I must be unlimited, eternal. That is the idea. Beautiful logic you're telling. Don't think because you don't experience something doesn't experience. This is what Sri Ramakrishna puts in his inimitable, beautiful voice. Because, oh man, you don't see stars in daytime, don't think that stars are not there. As soon as night comes, what happens? You can see it. So certain condition, what is night? There must be a condition necessary to experience certain things. When do you see these stars? Only when there is no light, because that light is so feeble. When other light comes, not that it doesn't exist, right?
So Maharaj, the only way we can reconcile the fact that the world, we say the world is also God, we say, or at the same time we say that there is a manifestation outside, is that manifestation is not real. It cannot be Atman, because if Atman is not manifest.
We have to be very careful about the usage of the word. The moment you say unreal, a different idea comes to us. That's why some of us put it in a positive language. We don't use the word unreal. Seemingly real or partial reality. You don't see reality in 100%. That's why many times I mentioned, what is God, what is world. God plus name and form is equivalent to world. World minus name and form is God. As simple as that. This is the division made by Vidyaranya in Panchadashi. What you call world is nothing but the whole, another word for world is what? Name and form. God with name and form is world. World without name and form is God. Wood with name and form is table. Table without name and form, you can't even call it a table. An object without name and form, you can name only when there is a particular form, then only you give a name. When there is no form, you cannot give a name. But as an example I am giving, wood with name and form is a table, is a chair, is a door, is a floor, etc. And the same object without name and form is nothing but, you remove the word chair, table, and what is it? Here is table, remove, forget about table. What is it? Wood. Here is chair, forget about chair. Then what is it? Wood. Here is a door, forget about door. What is it? Wood. You see the point? Here is this important idea. We will discuss it in a little more detail. Here is the idea. Whatever is unmanifest. What is unmanifest? Whatever is not experienceable by our five sense organs is called unmanifest. And if we cannot experience it, we cannot think about it. When we cannot think about it, where comes the question of changing? You know what is change? The table was very bright 5 years back, and now it is not bright. What is the change? Brightness and non-brightness. But when you cannot think about something, How will you judge whether it is changeable or not? The Atman is unmanifest. What is manifested is world. World unmanifested is God. God manifested is world. As simple as that. It's a beautiful idea. We will discuss in our next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.